Hey, lovely. So I have a bunch of videos I need to make in a very short period of time. So for one thing, to my right is an array of, yeah, there's a lot of them. There are a lot of freaking decks that I am still considering very strongly for the Drop 'em 78. So am I going to be able to do all the dialogues I want to do? Oh, I don't know. And then I also want to make, I still want to make a video about beginning decks for people who are just doing their first Drop 'em 78, some suggestions. I have some ideas. I'd like to recommend some. And then I'd like to do a video about calibration, about what it means to use a calibration deck for the Drop 'em 78, which I do not recommend if this is your first Drop 'em 78 challenge. Oh, and then I also want to do a video about the 4Ds and the 3Ds, which are like, that's the format for posting to the Drop 'em 78. And if you're watching this and you're like, drop 'em a what do ya? What the hell are you talking about? Yeah, links below to my website, to a playlist. The Drop 'em 78 is basically the tarot challenge that I bring to the community every year from October 15th to December 31st, where tarot enthusiasts are enthusiastically encouraged to choose one tarot deck and to go through that deck one card at a time, one day at a time, starting with the Ace of Pentacles and ending with the World on December 31st. Okay, so today, I think I'm going to do this Mamba Jamba stack. Yeah, this bad girl stack. O decks. Yeah, we're just going to start right here. We're going to start with the start, which is the Shimmering Veil Tarot by Silicon Way. And I've featured this deck in other Dueling deck dialogues. I have considered it for at least 2 different Drop 'em 78 challenges. It's a beautiful deck. It's my favorite of her decks. And the cardstock is wonderful. It's kind of chunky, so it's a little bit tricky to riffle shuffle if you try to shuffle with, if you have little hands like me and try to shuffle the whole deck. So I'm going to break the deck in 2, shuffle the different halves in my riffly way, and then start to read. Okay, so Shimmering Veil. I feel like we've been seeing a lot about fire and a lot about ways in which I'm completely depleted and what it means for me to find a way forward in a time when I'm pushing a lot of energy out there. I'm sort of at the limits. Whoops. Ooh. We got 2 jumpers. Let's just see if these jumpers are. So we have the 2 of air and the 6 of Pentacles. So, okay, so, very much, yeah. So I think you're naming the time I'm at where there's a lot of give and take because I'm putting so much into my world, putting a lot of energy out there, but I'm also receiving a lot in training in my counseling program. I'm getting a master's in clinical mental health counseling because, just a few more initials, please, behind my name. No, seriously, but really wanting to gain some more skills. And then this sense of being kind of like at a crossroads, trying to balance conflicting impulses, needing to hold the energy, but being kind of in the middle, getting it from both sides in some sense. Okay, that's where I am. Okay, fair enough. That's where I am. What do you want to tell me, Shimmering Veil, about how I move forward, or what I need to know, or what I'm missing, or how would you help me, I guess, this fall? That's another way to ask the question. And we have the 7 of Pentacles, or 7 of Earth. And there is this sense of stillness and patience and basking in the light and repose and waiting. The pure receptivity of patience, of that gestational period that the 7 of Pentacles is, like this time where we're waiting for the harvest. Okay. I think I'm hearing you right. How would you help me in this period of patience? How would you help me find that repose right now? I'm getting a lot of reversals, but I don't read reversals so much. And we've got the King of fucking Wands, man. Or is that the Knight? I think that's the King. Hi, this is Esther. So in the middle of this reading, as I was trying to figure out if this is the King or the Knight, but in this deck, it's the warriors who would be the knights. So is the King. So King of Wands, King of Fire. In the middle of that, I get a phone call, which is just family stuff, caregiving stuff, things that are on my mind, just like where there is actually a huge a huge outlay of energy, and that's just the reality of my life. You know, the things that we do for the family members that we love who need our help. So yeah, so now I think this helped me see where my fire is being needed. So how Shimmering Veil, given all the catawampusness that is the life of Esther, how, see how you're answering the question I haven't yet asked, but it's like, how are you going to help me? And I'm getting here the King of Cups. Yeah, just give me all the water. Just give me all the water. Ah, it's a beautiful card. So, and these are the backs, by the way. It's a very heartful, beautiful deck, sort of with some channeled, a sense of kind of channeled energy. It's got a lot. So that tsunami of relationship and emotion and spirit and all of the watery flow that the King of Cups has. I don't want to just meet fire with water. Like, life has to be more than just how do we manage the turmoil, you know. Again, coming back to the Seven of Pentacles, the Seven of Earth, how do I carve out in the middle of the craziness some real contemplative space? Can you help me with that? And you're saying the Eight of Pentacles. You can help me with practice. There's a sense in the background here of like the community, the elders, the sort of tradition and lineage and support, and maybe even the trees around me that encircle me in this beautiful Lorraine Valley where I live. And you're saying, okay, we can settle into practice, into the work. Okay. And right now, that's the work of the Drop'em 78, I think. Okay, so I'm still feeling a little jangled from the phone call I just got. Everything's fine. This is just life as usual, but it's my catawampus life. What am I missing, Shimmering Veil? What am I missing that I should also know? And you're saying the Tower. I don't think I'm missing the Tower. Yeah, they've got the waves from the King of Cups. So yeah, so a lot is coming down. A lot is coming down. Is some of this, I'm wondering, not just my life, but what's happening on the planet right now? Am I needing to gear up for, you know, November in the United States, for the state of war that's happening all over, all of the suffering? Is this in part the Tower coming down all around us? Is this a cosmic moment? And you're saying the one, the Ace of air. So there's some clarity here. I mean, this isn't, you're not answering that question directly because this is the tarot. You're not going to answer a yes or no, but you're saying there is some huge need for discernment and clarity. And whether it's in my life or more broadly, it's here. It's here. Annie, am I hearing you? And you're saying the Nine of Pentacles. Yeah. Settle into the self and to the satisfactions of the home right here. Be nourished. Okay. Okay. I'll be nourished. Okay. I'm hearing. I'm listening. Whoa. Silicon Ways. Shimmering Veil. Yeah. Quite a deck. Okay. Moving right along. So we are now at my Soul Cards Tarot. I keep this sweet little stone in there. So this is the deck that I created from choosing 78 archetypes. Whoops, one just jumped out. What jumped out was the Seven of Swords. I actually have two versions of the Seven of Swords. So yeah, in fact, that Seven of Swords came up in a reading I did for a client, I don't know, like a year or more ago. And this was really about privacy and having our own. If you think about the Seven of Swords as the card of, like, you know, sneakiness or craftiness or concealment, deceit. But in this reading, it's really about not having to hold everything to be viewed by others. So a kind of private revelation, a kind of private space, a kind of restraint and reserve, and we don't have to always wear our hearts on our sleeves. And that's always been the Seven of Swords for me, or it has been for a number of years, this sense of I get to be my own counsel. And this deck is my own counsel because I took the two, as many did, I'm not the only person who did this, the two Soul Cards collections by Deborah Koff Chapin, and I pulled from those 120 cards to represent the archetypes. And this is, I believe, the Nine of Wands. And of course, unless I'm reading with these regularly, I get a little bit lost because I didn't write the names of the cards. So it's great archetype practice. But let me just double check. Let me get my list up of what the cards were. Yeah, so that is the Nine of Wands. So my card of last month, now I've got Five of Pentacles, but that kind of exhaustion card. Okay, this is very much about me, this deck. And I'm wondering, Soul Card Tarot, because I keep thinking that I should do a drop 'em challenge with this deck, honing my own intuition against the way I've intuited the archetypes in creating the deck. Really diving deep into the intuitive knowing that made this deck possible. My kind of resonating with Deborah Koff Chapin's beautiful art. So what would you want to show me, Soul Cards Tarot? What would you want to show me if we were to work together? And you're saying this is the Knight of Cups. So yeah, so let me just double check. Yeah. So you're saying that kind of movement of the heart, that my own kind of fire of water. So that, you know, I'm getting a lot of court cards in relationship to myself in these readings, and you're pointing toward the work of intuition at that level of the Knight, of that active, fiery Nine of Wands here, that fiery quality. In the world of water, in the world of intuition. I guess to what end? What am I going to be grappling with as I work with this deck? And this is the Hierophant. So something about lineage and tradition. You know, I'm now a lineage holder in my Zen tradition, and I'm a teacher. I mean, I very much, this is a role that I play. An archetype that I embody. So you're going to be helping me with the embodiment of that archetype, with the exploration of it, with my exploration of my own relationship to Zen, maybe to Zen lineage, so the lineage of diviners, the lineage of tarot masters, of tarot teachers, of tarot students. Yeah, is that, am I hearing you? And you're saying, yeah, this is the Knight of Wands. Or is this the Ace of Wands? Hold on. Hold the horses. This is the Knight of Wands, yeah. Another knight, fire of fire. Is this about showing me my work, my job, my night? You know, knights, I always think of them as like going into the world and doing the stuff. Is this to show me something about my work, about my calling? Is that what this is? Ooh, so this is the Six of Cups. Wow, shit. So, you know, the golden child. I mean, this is like that inner child, that just connecting with that. All of it. And of course, because I don't completely trust that I have the archetypes, I'm going to just, yes, that is the Six of Cups. What I don't have a guidebook. I have like my images in a row. So I'm like looking at my images and sort of, oh, okay, so there we go. That's, yeah, there we go. Yeah, it's funny, trying to learn my own intuition about the archetypes by not writing it down anywhere. So the Six of Cups. Oh, beautiful. Okay. I guess I still want to say to what end am I connecting with the golden child, the child who knows, the inner child? To what end? Oh, okay. So this is the Nine of Pentacles. Yeah, which for me, the Ten of Pentacles. Is that right? Yeah. Which for me is like, this is the card of connection with ancestors. It's a very gentle deck. So connection with ancestors, for me, that is, I mean, that sort of legacy reading of the Ten of Pentacles I see in this card. For me, that is this very much dealing with intergenerational trauma and healing that trauma, which has been a theme that has come up in a lot of these readings. Okay, Soul Cards Tarot. Am I missing anything here? I think I have a sense of how you read for me and how I read for you. Am I missing anything? And this is like, no, this is just King of Cups, man. Just, there it is. Another King of Cups. Okay. Breathe it in. Breathe it in, breathe it out. Yeah, there we go, guys. Beautiful. Just double check. Yeah, King of Cups. King of Cups. There he is. Okay. A lot of King of Cups, a lot of Wands, a lot of Knights, a lot of fire. But the Soul Cards Tarot seems to be about connecting with that inner child, the golden child within, releasing this sort of intuitive flow. The Shimmering Veil gave a similar read with that King of Cups, sort of the waters, but then took me to the Tower. This seemed to be more about like generational, my lineage, my legacy. The Shimmering Veil seemed like it had maybe a broader, expansive scope, maybe. And now, let's see how we're doing on time. Okay, now Margarete Petersen, and this is the AGM 20th anniversary version of this deck. 20th or 25th? I think the 20th, which is hands down the edition to get, thrillingly in print, because it has no borders, and it's got the maroon as opposed to the gray, and the cardstock is phenomenal. Even though these are Mamba Jamba huge cards, you can definitely side or corner shuffle them, riffle them, which is what I'm going to do. Margarete Petersen, another deck that feels flowy and abstract and channeled and powerful. Okay, gorgeous Margarete Petersen. I've thought often about using this deck for the drop-em, and it's never quite made it. but, you know, these abstract paintings and the beautiful poetry of the little guidebook. This is a deck that's really a voice to be reckoned with. Margarete Petersen, what would you have me see? What do you want to show me? And the moon. Well, okay. We are in the land of intuition. Okay. Yeah. I love this sense both of a cup and a female form. And there's an eye down here. Oh, I see it now. So there's a face. And then this emerging of the crustacean. So this is the moon. And, you know, I think the thing I remember about this deck, if I'm not mistaken, is that she started painting with the major arcana. And then things got, I think, more abstract as she moved. I have to, if I do end up working with this deck in the near future, at any point, really working with it carefully, I have to really read through her book, which it's not a long book at all, but I haven't read it all the way through, or not read it recently at least. So showing me, yeah, showing me the depths of the unconscious, showing me that intuitive watery space in my own inner watery space. And then what? The Four of Cups. Okay, so here the imagery is getting a whole lot more abstract. And let's see what she says about the Four of Cups. So, recognizing emotions, accepting responsibility. What are you feeling this very moment? Clarifying, structuring, and unraveling your emotions. Where and when did a positive or a negative emotion originate? What are you doing with it now? Do you indulge it, hold on to it, or exaggerate it? Observe how emotions affect your well-being. How is a particular feeling created? So, you know, the sense with the cups here, this clarifying this world of emotion, but, you know, really the fourness is being exaggerated here. So that idea of the fourness, the structure, the clarity, and this sense of the image, this frame, which allows us to go through and move into the open sky. So it really is showing me a way into that watery realm, the realm of the cups, the realm of emotionality, but also of relationship, also of spirituality, the world of intuition, getting clear on it, framing it, being able to see it, being able to enter it. Yeah, and this Two of Wands, Two of Flames, which also has that feeling of entering. What did she say about the Two of Flames? The fire of intimacy, alliance, two forces joining. Both retain their own specific field of experience, yet experience themselves as part of a greater whole. You are the I going beyond its limits. You are the I going beyond its limits. So the flame of intimacy is a little different than that kind of sense of the Waite Smith sort of masculine figure heading out like at the portal. But it is about what does it mean to encounter the world? What does it mean to encounter the other? And for me to go beyond myself and re-engage myself as an other. The flame of intimacy. Okay, so you're going to help me. I think I'm seeing here a way in which you're going to help me more deeply understand maybe the relationship between numbers and element in the deck. I'm just seeing that happening now with my readings of the Four of Cups and the Two of Flames. But you're also really going to help me encounter this intimacy that tarot can open up with the world. So, hey lovely. So it's the next day because I thought I finished filming my discussion of basically these three decks, finished talking about the Margarete Petersen, but actually I got a phone call. I got 2 phone calls in the middle of this this reading, and the second one, when I silenced it, I turned off the camera apparently. Oops. So I didn't record my last 3 cards, so I'm going to talk about them, but it's not spontaneous anymore, although I don't remember what I said at the time, so I guess it will be spontaneous because I'm reading them again. But I'll share with you the 3 last cards I pulled from the Margarete Petersen. But before I do that, I want to talk a little bit more about this guy, this king. I often think, like, when I've been getting all these wands, all of this fire in these readings as I lead up to the Drop 'em 78, and I think about my own exhaustion and my 9 of Wands card of the month last month, and this sense of depletion. Like, I'm doing too much, I'm carrying too much. And there's always this kind of like, oh, Esty, you naughty, naughty girl. You're doing too much. There she goes again, doing another thing. There's always that kind of like hint of self-shaming, which it is what it is. And so it's hard for me to see the fire as anything other than being burned out, being burdened, the sort of sense of the 10 of Wands as oppression. But this King of Wands, particularly in the context it came up, interrupted by a phone call, with all this stuff in my life that I'm tending to. Actually, this is the energy that's being called for in this moment of my life. I actually need to be this king. And thank goodness that I have this fire to burn. Because I got a lot that I got to get done, and a lot of stuff that I'm responding to. And actually, I wouldn't have it any other way. So can I just love my damn fire? Can I feel the fire? Can I burn, baby, burn? Now, the Margarete Petersen, the cards that came at the end of my reading that I didn't film, was I got the Father of Coins. These are just fucking beautiful cards, and there's so much in her imagery with 4s and father figures and the emperor, these frames, this squareness, this 4-ness, right? And this Father of Coins, this kind of this king of earth, this heir of earth, that kind of expansive, embracing, masterful quality that supremely sort of in charge, mastery of earth. So, what is heir of earth? Okay, so like, can I embody that sense of holding my whole world? And how do I do that? And the card that came up next was the World. So this sense of, like, here it is. This is about encompassing the world. This is about a kind of, I love that hint of a dragon in the circle here. This is about somehow whirling our energy in such a way that dragon, serpent, in Buddhism we talk about the Nagas, the serpent kings, the serpent dragon kings, that kundalini, dragony, fiery energy that pulls an entire world together, seeing that as related to what it is to really hold my world, to be the king of earth. But this is not an earthy deck, and so I found myself saying, like, how are you going to, where is this heading? How are you going to hold this? And the answer was the Star. So that's pretty beautiful, pretty lovely, but also just so far out there, right? I seldom do these readings and think that's definitely not a deck I will use, but the Margarete Petersen is the deck of abstraction and airiness and a kind of cosmic viewpoint. So when I'm trying to get grounded with this deck, it gives me the Star, it gives me a World card that looks like this, and a Father of Coins, that King of Pentacles that looks like this. I really want to use this deck at some point, but it keeps, I think, it's just too, this abstract art. It's too abstract. I'm not sure what the moment is for using this deck. It's not this moment, I don't think. But let me just, one more time, let me just ask the deck itself. What is the moment to use you? What are you the right deck for in my life? Oh, we came back to the Moon because I had shuffled my old cards in. So this is about the real encounter with intuition, with my own inner scape. Okay, let me just ask one last question then. How do I get more grounded in my readings with you? This is about teamwork. This is about community. So maybe in the context of the Drop'em 78. I love that footprint there. Be willing to step right here and to work in community. And maybe is this about working in community with you too? Maybe. Let me take one more card. Oh. Temperance. Yeah, there's some alchemy that this deck is calling for. Now the majors are much more or much less abstract, I think, than the minors. That's interesting. All right, we're back in the running. We're back in the running with the Margarete Petersen. So I was going to talk about the Tarot of Reflections and then also the Roots of Asia Tarot, but I'm just going to get this uploaded, and we're going to come back to these really I don't even know, these are like these big abstract movement decks. We're going to come back to this again, at least with the Tarot of Reflections and the Roots of Asia. I'm really excited about that. Maybe a couple of other things. So I will get some more videos posted and call it good with this one. What do you guys think? Thank you for your practice, and toodaloo.